Hi everyone, my name is Irma and this is a tutorial about print and cuts. We'll go ahead and do a print and cut, very straightforward one, but I also wanted to show you how you can modify some of the print and cuts that are already in the store for your own use. And we'll also go ahead and look at the cut window, which is a pretty interesting window because it really shows you exactly where things are going to cut, and you definitely want to look at that because you don't want to waste any paper because you put your cut line in the wrong area or it's not where you think it is. So let's go ahead and get started. The first design that I have up here is the XOXO, and that comes directly from the store, the Silhouette store. This bottom one that you see down here, that's a print and cut that I modified from this above. So I used the base of what the designer did here and just used that to make my own print and cut. So here is a print and cut. I brought it into, I made it really big so that you could see it. You can go ahead and the first thing you want to do is we'll look at the cut lines. That's really important, like I said. So let's go ahead and go over to the where the little scissors is, and it says open the cut style window. So we want to open that, and because we want to see where our cut lines are. And I thought this was very interesting because the gray is not going to be cut out. You'll just have a white tab, but if you're not careful you might think that your design would be cut on the outside of this gray, and you'd actually get like a gray outline. But as you can see here, using that little scissor, you can see exactly where it's cutting. Now on my design down below, I modified the cut lines so the red is darker. This is the original cut line, so it's lighter, and as you modify cut lines, you can see that when you do that, it does turn darker. The originals are always kind of a lighter. So let's go back to the home page, and this is what I started with straight out of the store. What I did to modify it to this bottom one was I ungrouped it. There you go. I ungrouped it. I just clicked on it, and I actually ungrouped it once, but all that did was ungroup the background from the cut line. So don't be discouraged if you ungroup it once and what you think is going to happen doesn't. Go ahead and hit ungroup again, and you can see that ungroups your letters and ungroups basically everything. So this is the point where I was able to change, and I'm going to go undo that, this to this. I changed the font, I filled in the colors. This heart is from another image, and then I put it onto here. Now making this is a little bit more complicated than I wanted this video to be, but it's definitely something that if you play around with your fonts and other images, you can modify print and cuts to suit you. One thing I want to go back to the scissors, the cut style window, because I'd like you to see this print and cut and what we can do over in the this window. So I'm going to open the cut style window, and as you see, this is going to cut here, and this is going to cut around the heart, and I did that on purpose because I wanted my little heart to cut the little edges there. But you can go ahead and actually go in there right now and modify that cut edge. Right now it's on this here, which is, oh, let me click on this, which is on cut edge. And when I manually selected that so it would cut out the edge of my design. I removed the cut lines that were there previously and I set that. But look what happens, because currently this design is ungrouped. I didn't group it. So I'm going to look at that and I'm going to decide, you know what, I don't think that heart is up enough. I want to get a little bit more of the heart. So notice what happens when I move that up. You see the cut line moves, and you can then decide that you like that and you want to keep that cut line that big. Currently, you can also do that with other images or other things that are in your print cut. I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this, and you can see that my letters are ungrouped. And I'm going to do that with my letters. So let's go out and you can see how my cut line pardon me, is going to change. I can actually move my letters and make them be a part of the cut line. So I thought that was a neat little trick that I actually didn't know about. So let's go ahead and get back and get all of those up. And we're going to undo everything and put everything right back. So now we're ready to print them out. As you can see, I changed the settings on my grid here because I don't have a 12 by 12 printer. So I changed the settings, and if you don't have a 12 by 12 printer, you will have to go ahead and go over to the printer setting and change it to letter 8.5 by 11. And I changed mine to portrait. Again, you need to change the rotation and the page orientation to however works best with your printer. I left my cutting mat at 12 by 12 because that's what I'll be cutting it on. And one thing we definitely need to add is our registration marks. So we're going to go to the open registration mark, and we're going to click here where it says show registration marks. You can change your registration marks, as you can see, or you can just restore the default and click there. There's different settings that you can change to suit you. I'm going to go ahead and leave that here. So you need to make sure that you don't have any designs where those hash marks are, because your the Cameo won't cut them correctly. So as long as we have our registration marks, we're ready to print. So we want to go ahead and hit the send to printer. Click on that. Go ahead and click the printer that you want to use. Mine's already selected. Change preferences if you need to. If you like printing on best or maximum, whatever works for you, but definitely if you want to print the best quality that you can. So now that we have our print cuts all printed out, we can go ahead and put it on our cutting mat and load it into our silhouette. Go ahead and click here where it says send to silhouette. You'll get this menu over here. We don't need this because we've already printed. We not want to click here to skip the printing. and go into our cutting menu. If we need to change our cutting settings or our cut settings, down below on this button is where you go, depending on how thick or thin your paper is. So now here's our little checklist. Once we're done, we're going to hit continue. We're going to want our silhouette to detect the registration marks so that it knows where to cut. So go ahead and click detect automatically, and you're going to get that little message there. And right now it's detecting the settings. You can kind of hear it going in the background. So hopefully you get this message that says detection of registration marks was successful. If you get an error message, then go ahead and try it again. And usually the second time is successful. So once again, we can change our settings, but if our settings are good, then we can go ahead and cut our page. Thanks so much for watching. I'll include a picture of the finished product at the end of this video. Thanks again.